Welcome to Muskegon Rising, a community service project of the Muskegon Rotary Club. Our purpose is to create lasting positive change. We've been doing that here since 1916. So, let's get started.
Hello and welcome to Muskegon Rising. I'm your host, Aaron Mikey, and today I'm here with Kristina Broughton. She's a creative marketing specialist who's created a Facebook group here in Muskegon. Welcome, Kristina.
Thanks for having me.
So, what caused you to create this marketing group in Muskegon, Michigan?
Yeah, I think there was just like a need for marketing professionals, creative professionals to connect. And this is going to be really ironic because the idea was formed right here when I did my last interview for Rotary with Emily Morgenstern. I believe I was here to talk about careers in graphic design because I teach graphic design over at Muskegon Community College. And Emily and I were just talking about how there's so many marketing and creative professionals in our community, but we don't know each other. I was like, let's just like all get coffee sometime. We never got coffee, but I started this group.
And it can be found on Facebook?
Yeah. It's the Facebook group. That's where we've gotten started. It's just Muskegon Area Marketing Professionals. And it's a private group, so you got to answer some questions when you get in there. Because I want to make sure that, you are a marketing and creative professional in the community. But yeah, and we just ask questions, we talk, we have topics, and then we also meet up sometimes.
That's really cool. How many people are in your group right now?
Currently, we're sitting at 80. It's still a new group, but 80 strong in a year is pretty good.
That's really impressive. 80 marketing professionals in Muskegon, all collaborating, sharing ideas. That's got to really drive some neat new initiatives in our town.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have a diverse range of professionals. And so it's not just marketing professionals, it's communication specialists, it's videographers, filmographers, photographers, graphic designers. It's a mix of creative professionals. So even though it's just marketing professionals in the name, it really is a much broader term.
Really cool. So anyone creative working in the creative arts is welcome to join.
Yeah, absolutely.
So talk about how your group has expanded past social media. What do your personal events look like? Where do you meet? Is it different every time? Tell us a little bit about those events.
Yeah, so the in-person meetups and events are actually fairly new. We had our first meetup a month ago, but we're planning out a year in advance of some different networking events, some different sessions for like professional development type things. But it really got started because we were all talking in the group and meeting each other digitally. And we're like, you know what, let's just have like a lunch and learn at the chamber. And so we put it in place and we had 23 different people show up, even though we had a last minute location change. That's what happens. You go with the flow. But and we talked about what do people want out of this group. So do they want it as a networking opportunity? Do they want it for potential job opportunities? What do they want to get out of it? And so we came up with a list of some people want networking opportunities, especially the freelancers in the group, and small business owners in the group. They really wanted the chance to connect with other businesses, which I think this is an appropriate group to do that with. Some people wanted learning sessions, like let's talk about AI and marketing. Let's talk about, the ethics in AI, ethics in marketing. So we're getting a list of topics together where we can just get together and talk about it and discuss. So that's where we're at right now.
That's really amazing. Talk a little bit about marketing tends to be kind of behind the scenes. You don't seem like you're a behind the scenes person. How do you corral all those personalities and make sure that it meets the goals of what everybody wanted?
Yeah. So I guess I am naturally an extrovert, which is shocking because I used to be the most like in the turtle shell type of person ever. But because I work in marketing, I have to do, TV studios, like go to the news stations and kind of be upfront. I am the face of the brand, and that has been following me through my career. And so I'm kind of open to meeting new people and, having fun. And so I bring that same energy into any idea that I have, as well as within my marketing. But I love connecting with people. And because I think when we connect with people, it just brings out so many opportunities. So again, if I didn't meet Emily Morgenstern here in the studio a year ago, this group would not be possible and or wouldn't have come to mind. And so yeah.
That it's really just interesting to me how this group comes together. Is there any cross-sector collaboration that's happening right now? Because you've got 80 people from all these different industries, private sector, private business, small business. You work at the Muskegon Museum of Art.
Right.
Is there some big thing that's coming up that group is working on together maybe?
Not yet. We have talked about maybe doing some community-wide projects. We haven't landed on what is that. But we're not quite there yet. But I will say that the diversity of industries that's represented in this group is really and truly impressive. We have people who are just getting their start in marketing or even just looking for their first job in marketing as a part of this group. And we have agency owners, marketing agency owners. And so there's a wide range of people at different levels in their career. We have people from the construction industry, healthcare. I'm from the arts, and there's lots of arts organizations involved in this. But I think that bringing these different industries together is just creating more opportunity to connect with each other, to learn from each other. And one thing about marketing and creative careers is it's not a singular industry specific. So you can take your marketing, skills and experiences and move around to different industries. And some of us have that experience. And so we can share that as advice for people in the group. But that's also what we bring to the table when it comes to collaborating and connecting with others.
I'm sure it helps. You used to work at MCC as well, you mentioned. So you see the value of education, but you also understand, I think, that regardless of the industry, there are accountants and there are marketing people and there are payroll people, and that's in a hospital, that's in a Muskegon Museum of Art.
Yeah.
And so that allows you to really attract somebody, but then it's all about the story you tell, really. So you're just telling a story.
Yeah, exactly. Storytelling is the bread and butter of marketing and communications.
So we come to, you're in Muskegon, and Muskegon has had the lumber industry, has had manufacturing, and is kind of rebirthing now into tourism and still very strong manufacturing and waterfront. You and your group of people sit really at the edge of being able to tell that future story, that generational change story. How do you all feel about that?
Yeah, so I see creative professionals as people who live and breathe telling and sharing. So kind of show and tell. And that's what we do well. We do it visually. We do it through storytelling. And I think that with Muskegon being in such a transition right now, we have such an opportunity to change the perception of Muskegon. And especially locally, even regionally, Muskegon's always had a bad rap. Let's be honest, we all know this. But the changes that are currently happening in our community are exciting, and it's bringing this newfound energy into our community. And I do think that it's up to the storytellers to share this and to create amazing videos and photography and telling the story through writing and journalism. Like, we have an opportunity to work together to really turn the table here in Muskegon.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we're here. Muskegon Rising was birthed because Muskegon has been a great place for a long time. Not everybody knows all of those great things, and so we want to tell those stories. So I love what you said. Talk a little bit more. Do you believe that it's everybody's responsibility to tell those awesome stories about Muskegon? And if you have a place of business here, how you're representing your business and our community, do you think that's really important, and why? Yeah,
absolutely. When we share the positive stories that are happening in our community, it is spreading more awareness of the great things that are happening here to people who may not have been paying attention or are kind of stuck in this old mindset of, why would I go to Muskegon? I mean, I've spent enough time in Grand Rapids to be like, why would you go to Muskegon? Why would you live in Muskegon? Well, it's fantastic. That's why, you're missing an opportunity. And so I do think that businesses here in town, like it also grows the economy here. The more awareness, the more positive press we get, the more positive stories that are coming out, it's going to build our economy even more. More tourism is going to come in. More people who want to work here are going to kind of seek out Muskegon as an opportunity. So we are growing. And yeah, there are going to be naysayers. We know who they are. We know you through, Facebook. But really, I feel like there's more positive coming out of what's happening in the growth in this community than some people are giving it credit for.
I agree 100%. So you've built this group on openness and accessibility. How do you, as a new marketer, let's just say we have K-12 teaching business. We have both Baker College and MCC teaching business and marketing. How do you encourage people to get into this group?
Yeah, so definitely first start by joining the group on Facebook. That's where we communicate. That's where the most accessible way of communication is. And then ask questions. Be active in the group. Show up to the events. Show up to the networking events. And sometimes, especially as newcomers, new graduates, it's scary to meet new people and go to something that you don't know anybody at. But I promise we are all wonderful, amazing, and nice people. And if we can't help you, we know somebody else that can. Like, that is the culture that we're building in this group, is this kind of hub of marketing professionals. And my goal with this group is to eventually kind of branch out and use this group as a hub of marketing experts and creative experts for the community, so that small businesses can come in and say, hey, I need help with this. Do you know somebody that kind of fits who we are? And I'd be like, yes, we have the perfect person. Let me connect you. So again, it's all about connecting. We're a small potatoes group right now in the grand scheme of what my ideas are, at least. But I think there's an opportunity for people at all levels of where you're at in your career to join and just be active, communicate, and connect.
So in the early 1900s, a lawyer was lonely, called a couple of other lawyers for lunch. It became Rotary and now is 1.2 million members worldwide. Just kind of wrap your head around
Amazing.
that potential, right? So can you share a success story or something real world that your group has done or accomplished at this point in time? Or a project in Muskegon?
Yeah. So, and I mean, again, we've only been around for a year now. So I think the big success stories are the connections that are being made. One big connection that I've made is there is a local creative film studio that just came back to Muskegon. They had moved to Chicago. They came back to Muskegon. I got connected with them by somebody that I know in that group. And I was like, right now I can't work with you, which is okay, but I'm glad to have that connection. And then they just pitched the art museum, where I'm the marketing director at, this idea for a film screening in collaboration with the new skate park that's going to be happening over at Cypress Park. And so I was like, it's through these connections that we're building collaborations. You don't typically think of the art museum connecting to a skate park, but there's a connection. There's art in the skating culture. There's art in filmography, of course, art at the art museum. And we found a way to connect and make it happen. So that's happening in July.
The power of connection.
That's right.
You never know what's going to happen, and conversation is always free.
Yeah.
So you bridge digital and communication, the community spaces, all of the different ways to get a message across. Talk to us a little bit about how technology is changing your work, artificial intelligence, and how things can just really be made pretty quickly.
Yeah. Technology has changed the marketing space so much. And I will say, from a community perspective, it is so much more accessible. You can reach people from all over the world, and there's no barrier to it. And I think, especially from an educational standpoint as well, you can reach a global audience. And without that technology, that wouldn't happen. And that's in the grand scheme of, how old we are, how old the world is. Like, technology is new and it's changing rapidly. And some of it's kind of scary, honestly, with AI coming out. But the marketing field is, in creative field, is no stranger to changes. And it's navigating those changes. And I think that connecting with others who are also navigating those things is absolutely critical in terms of keeping up, especially in the marketing space. Social media, everything is changing so quickly that you almost need to have those connections in order to stay updated with your marketing.
Yeah, to attract new customers, you can't have the same old tagline.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got to be creative all the time.
Absolutely.
So obviously you're a leader. And what has this group taught you about leadership? What has it taught you about community building? And how do you think that that's helping you grow as a professional?
Yeah, so I've never created a group like this before. I was just like, you know what? Why not? Let's take it further than coffee and make it more of a permanent thing where we can connect at any time that we need. And I've learned that, people have different ideas and they want to have different conversations, and allowing the space for them to have those conversations and to reach the right people that can answer their questions is helpful for everybody. And so I think as a leader, in terms of kind of managing and being the founder of this group, it's really encouraging that they have found a space to connect and a space to ask their questions with people who have that local experience. And I don't know, I really absolutely love how the connections in the community is building around this group. So yeah.
So fast forward 5 years, what do you hope this group looks like, and what do you think it'll become? Yeah.
So my goal for this group is to be considered a hub of marketing and creative professional experts for the community to see us as like a go-to for help, saying, hey, we are having this issue, or we need social media help. Do you know somebody that can help us? And we can pull from a number of people. And so we have our huge freelance community in there. We have, we have people who specialize in social media. We have graphic designers, photographers, journalists, writers in there, or even just connecting people with the right sales reps. And kind of being that resource for the community to reach out to and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody, or I'm looking for help here, or do you have advice on here? So I love to be a bigger resource for the community in that capacity.
So there are all types of career fields. If you had to give somebody advice about starting a similar group with their career field, what would you give them?
I would say just do it. Not to copy Nike, but just do it. But really, I had something in mind similar to creating some kind of group about marketing, but at least when I started out personally, I didn't really know anybody else other than the people that I graduated college with, who we all kind of dispersed after college, which ironically, some of them are still in this group because they came back to Muskegon.
I love it.
But yeah, it's just do it. Just if you have an idea and maybe run it past somebody, find a mentor and ask them, hey, is this a good idea? What direction would you take? And have them help to lead you. Because yeah, there's been some, I'm a busy person. I am a full-time marketing director at an art museum. I'm a one-woman show. I teach college on the side, and I run this group. And there has been some people that are kind of behind the scenes that are like, hey, let's get this event planned. And so, find a group of supporters. And it could just be one person. It could be 5 people. And run your ideas past them, and then use them as accountability partners to get your idea moving.
I have lived in Muskegon for about 8 years now, and I would be hard-pressed to find anyone that's in their career for a while that would be unwilling to help a young professional do something like this.
Right.
So there's a ton of mentors out there that would help jump in and help guide you through building your group if you wanted to.
Absolutely. And I will say, like, as an educator, so I've been teaching for 6 years now, and all of my students are looking for some kind of mentor. And I have mentored them before, but I can't mentor all of them. And so this group is a great source of where I can say, like, hey, you are really interested and you're really fantastic at event marketing. Let me show you Carla Flanders. And I have done that before. And that student ended up with a full-time job out of that. And so it's about finding connections. Again, it's finding connections within your community and working those connections.
So amazing. Just from an idea, all these great things are occurring. Kristina, anything that you want our listeners to know that we haven't already talked about?
Yeah, if you are even thinking about going into marketing, if you want to meet people, if you're new to our community, please join. Again, we are friendly people. We're not scary in any way. Show up to our event. We have some networking events coming up. We have some sessions, kind of just discussions. And some of us meet for coffee at Aldea every once in a while. So if you see us in public, just come and introduce yourself and say hi. Again, don't be a stranger. Everybody who's in marketing, communications, a creative professional, if you don't even know where you fit into that, that's okay. We can help you find your way. But please join. It's a fun community to be a part of.
Kristina, thank you so much for your work in building a marketing creative committee, our group in Muskegon. I know it's going to see fruits in the long run.
I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Muskegon Rising, a podcast supported by the Muskegon Rotary Club. If you think someone is doing something amazing in our community, please email us at muskegonrising@muskegonrotary.org.